and you're scared, and it's like...
But you're high and you're remembering just Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, and then now that like you're like, I don't know if we're going to make it home, and now that you just hear, ha!
And then run.
You beeline it, dude. It's brother to brother. Two brothers hanging and dogging a mouse
yeah.
My ex was a musician.
Right.
And we were touring. We got invited to do this show in this like crazy little East Coast random country town.
Okay.
Like in the woods or whatever. Well, we show up and for whatever reason, this town is inundated with everybody that lives there is really into like steampunk.
Like it's this in America?
Oh yeah.
What state
the
are
whole
you
town
in?
is like
what state?
I did
Like Connecticut?
Something like that, like backwoods of New Jersey or PA
so
or somewhere.
We're East Coast.
East Coast.
Okay, tiny area.
I wish I could remember the name of town. Anyway, so everybody that's dressed is like...
That's weird.
Dudes are dressed in like, steampunk outfits and goggles.
Vests
like literally almost it's crazy. So this dude is putting on the show. And the other thing about that town is, and this was years ago, so it's like 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, almost all trans.
So it's a trans steampunk town.
Lovely people.
It sounds wild.
Okay, but it was great. So we do the show, and the host was this like 6'9" trans woman.
Okay.
Who was like, "We'll go back to we were having an after party." So we're like, cool. So we walk through the woods, like on a path in the woods for like a half a mile.
Sounds like you were at a cult.
We get to this cabin, and it's a little cabin.
This is how horror movies start.
Oh, it's terrifying.
This is how you know we're white.
You're
just a white dude walking into a.
I got scared when me and John Hacker pulled over on the side of the road to pee.
A jawbone,
like you know what I mean. So anyway, we go in there, and it's this house, and it's like a hoarder's paradise. Newspapers, just stuff everywhere.
You
right?
went in?
Oh yeah, of course we went to the party. It's a party, dude.
Hoarders throw parties?
Well, they had drugs.
Okay.
We're going to the party.
People will overlook a lot.
No, so
when there's drugs involved.
Yeah. So we go there,
okay,
and we go into like the living room, and there's a wood burning stove, like like Little House on the Prairie style, and on the couch is this man but he's wearing an antebellum South dress.
Okay, and
he's just staring straight forward like this. And he's not moving. They're like, that's Jeremy. He's blind. We're like, oh, hey, what's up, Jeremy? And Jeremy just kept staring forward. So the host, this 6'9" guy, he's like, you guys want to smoke some weed? And we're like, yeah. But as he says that, I look at there's a chair, and there's a cat on the chair, a little black cat that's just doing this.
Like it's tweaking?
Yeah, like he's just doing this.
Okay.
And I was like, is that cat all right? He goes, oh, that's just Weebles.
Like he wobbles but doesn't fall down.
So anyway, then we start passing a joint around, and Jeremy, who's just sitting there, who's blind, the tall 6'9" person, he would hear, he'd be like, poof, and he would just shove the joint in Jeremy's mouth, dude. And Jeremy like, anyway, so this is how it ties back in. This is where it actually gets weird to me. This is where it gets weird.
I like a good expositional phase that's not weird at all like this.
No, but this is where it gets weird.
Yeah, this is the point.
Is they start talking about wrestling.
Okay.
Because that was one of the territories that they would come through, and they were all obsessed with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And they were like,
the
Hacksaw was
bear.
the best. Yeah, and although they call him Hacksaw Jim Dugan.
They call him Hacksaw Jim Dugan?
Jim Dugan. Yeah.
Because they never saw
no
TV?
He like grew up there or something. Anyway, the 6'9" trans woman just brings out a binders, and it's literally just like photo after photo of only Hacksaw Jim Dugan.
What the?
It's remarkable, dude. I'd never wanted to move into a place more in my life. Isn't that crazy?
Were they pictures of them with Jim Dugan?
Some of them. some of they were in them, but then they were just like his press shots and autographed pictures or photos from live events that they went to. But it was all Hacksaw.
Can you imagine him
being in that room with me?
Yeah.
I can. And it would have been a dream.
But he brings
He's
his
like,
2x4.
Oh, we got to get out of here.
Just imagining that he is the biggest superstar in a very specific steampunk trans neighborhood.
I want to talk
What a
to him.
good audience.
Is he still alive? I wonder. I love
Probably. Yeah,
But isn't
I feel
that
like he's probably
wild?
alive.
And then we were hammered.
Wouldn't it be great if at one point you went back there and it's just a binder of your press shots from comedy?
Well, yeah, I was
just like
I wasn't
like John,
like
John
no.
Wheels. That's how we say it here.
John Wheels.
They say it wrong too.
Yeah, dude. It was a wild. I just remember being
How good
like,
looking was the 6'9" trans woman?
Decent. So
Which is pretty good for a 6'9" anybody.
yeah. Oh yeah. You can't. It's probably hard to be good. I think you get like 6'5", and then after that you kind of get weird.
For anybody.
And it's across the board.
It's across the board.
Yeah, such a wild.
6 foot to 6'4", that's the sweet spot.
I just remember like then we like left and we were hammered and we didn't really we had to walk back into the town. So you're walking through the woods and you're scared, and it's like
But you're high and you're remembering just Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
yeah, and then now that like you're like I don't know if we're gonna make it home, and now that you just hear, "Ah!"
And then run.
You beeline it, dude. Oh man, have you watched the Mr. Vince or Mr. McMahon, the Vince McMahon?
I haven't. I've seen like a couple of little clips from it, but
It's
I have.
great.
Is it good?
Well, it's very fascinating. I haven't gotten into all the dirty stuff, but you're like, again, this goes back to the P Diddy stuff. It's like, yeah,
Or are we surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Why are people surprised?
It's like when people got so surprised about Tiger Woods. It's like,
Wait,
really?
what?
The most famous human on the planet is fucking Waffle House waitresses. Like, yeah.
How about the fact that it was only 14
14
women,
Oh, that's not true at all.
but that are on the list?
He's hanging out with Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. 14.
Probably P Diddy.
Oh, they definitely are.
Well, I remember Vince McMahon when we were kids in the 80s watching wrestling, right? Like rockin' wrestling, and it was the Hulk Hogan top.
The WWF.
When it was that, before they lost out to the Wildlife Federation.
Yeah, which is a big
Lame.
Big
Who
lose.
knew the pandas would win? The pandas just beat them. Pandas
People
are
love
adorable.
pandas
They
more.
do. They love them. Do you see there's this one zoo in China? They don't have pandas, but they painted
dog
dogs to
guy.
look like pandas.
He's painted dog.
I think the idea that people are walking the zoo going, we know it's not a panda, but it's pretty cool, and we're going to lie and tell people that was definitely a panda.
But dude, did you realize that Bob Costas would announce like WWF stuff?
I did not realize No, I didn't. I knew that Vince McMahon he pretended like he didn't own the WWF when he was an announcer.
Yeah.
He pretended.
Well, yeah, because it was
That was the whole
But
thing.
it was. I just really got so much nostalgia for like that time, like in the '80s when it was Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik versus like America.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter.
And it was like so fun, and I actually wish that we would bring a little more racism back into wrestling. That's really
we
what
do.
I want to talk about.
That's
really what I want to talk about.
Well, go to a
I want stereotypes
WWE
back.
event. The problem now is they're just in the audience.
But I would like, I would like
A real nationalistic.
just stereotypes. I want more
Look,
stereotypes.
Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I want more stereotypes in my wrestling.
Do that. Who is the greatest tag team of all time? I know
The
my
Hart Foundation.
The Hart Foundation was great. My go-to when we were kids was the Rockers.
Oh yeah,
Marty
the Rockers were
Jannetty and
good.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that's,
we were always
again,
the Rockers.
Same as the Hart Foundation. Great.
Great fun.
Legion of Doom.
Wild Legion of Doom. But I remember, okay. I was such a WWF guy that when Legion of Doom was huge, they were in a different organization. And then
They were in WCW.
WWE, or WWF at the time, had Demolition.
Demolition. I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
actually.
okay. And I remember seeing Legion of Doom and thinking, they're just ripping off Demolition, not realizing it was the other way. And then I watched video of Demolition. I'm like, oh, this is just guys in bondage gear
Yeah.
and Kiss face paint dominating wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling was dope back then. They're like, what's your character? Like, all right, here's the deal. I'm just going to cover myself in gold dust.
Perfect.
What's your name? It's Gold Dust.
My character is a sergeant. What does he do? I slaughter people. What's his name? It's Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter. All right.
Yeah, I'm a really tough sheik. Okay.
Like,
what's your name? It's like tough like iron.
What do they call you?
Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
I love that.
My name's Andre. Well, you're kind of a big guy. Yeah, like a giant. That's your name.
Yeah, and then they're like, the guy comes in, he's like, they're like, what's your like angle? You're like, my name's Jimmy. I like to fly super high. They're like, so what's your name? He's like, Jimmy Superfly Schnooka. They're like, okay, we might want to work on the last part.
But you're not going to wear shoes, right? No shoes.
No, there'll never be shoes. Have you watched the Beyond the Mat stuff? That's
I've watched
awesome.
some Beyond the Mat. Did you ever watch?
I'm surprised at how much. Sorry, I'm surprised at how little I watch wrestling and how much I actually really love wrestling.
We watched it every week, but also we watched the cartoon.
Oh yeah,
We knew all the Big John Stud. We knew all.
course.
Isn't it great that Jim Hacksaw Duggan? He didn't carry around a hacksaw.
Dugan.
He carried around a 2x4.
2x4.
Which
or
is
his dad would say 2x4.
2x4. You got 2x4.
How I was a big Macho Man.
Macho
guy.
Man. I was a Hulk Hogan over Macho Man. I have a few friends that are like diehard Macho Man people.
Yeah.
He was definitely the cooler. You know, his brother was the genius Lanny Poffo. The genius is his brother.
Yeah, because his name is Randy Poffo. You know that he played minor league baseball?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Randy
No, I didn't know
Macho
that.
Man Savage was a good athlete, like a real athlete.
That makes sense. He was like an incredible athlete in wrestling.
Yeah, he was the best. I liked, let's see, Coco Beware was one of my faves.
Oh, man, he had a parrot. Okay, this was the thing that existed back then that doesn't exist now. Coco Beware had a parrot. Jake the Snake Roberts. He had a snake.
Do you remember a kid in our neighborhood that was saying that Jake the Snake was their uncle?
It was like 2 houses down from us.
Who was that kid?
I don't remember.
It wasn't Trevor next
No,
door.
and it wasn't Sid, who would live the other way. It wasn't the kid that lived
there was
behind
another
Trevor.
kid that was
like 2 houses
Jake
down.
the Snake is my uncle. And we're like, shut the fuck
He's
up.
going to visit us.
We're like, yeah, that's fine. He's your uncle. You want to be in this club? Lick that spit off the ground.
Do you remember Trevor's brother, Shane?
Shane the Brain, dude.
Well, so Shane went on. He was an independent wrestler for 20 years.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wrestled on the independent circuit for years.
He actually,
Like
that
legit-
little kid, when we would
Yes.
wrestle out back, when we were like 9,
Went on to be a wrestler.
We should take credit for that.
Trevor
We inspired
Trevor
him.
told me that the reason they got into wrestling was because of us.
That's wild. High five, dude.
He didn't
Look
make,
at us.
He didn't make it all the way to the big leagues.
Look at us impacting people's
You can
lives.
watch clips of our old next door neighbor, Shane Patterson.
Shane the Brain.
Shane the Brain. Shane Patterson. Yeah, you can watch indie videos of Shane Patterson.
Did he get ripped?
wrestling. No, he that wasn't his thing.
Isn't David Arquette also like a big wrestler guy?
Well, he got like that WCW time period where he won the world championship, and people were like, "What? This is." What are you doing here?
I didn't realize that Mr. T played such a pivotal role. Pivotal.
It's pronounced pivotal.
Pivotal role.
Yes.
Pivotal.
Yes, I prefer that pronunciation.
Supposedly.
Yes.
There's one.
Let's be specific about things.
Let's be specific. But Mr. T played a huge role in the early days of WWF.
Just because of his persona?
No.
Was he a wrestler?
The reason WrestleMania was a big deal is because Mr. T became like the most famous fucker on the planet. And Vince
From the
McMahon's
18?
like, yo, we got to bring him in here. And then they had done the Rocky movie.
Okay, Rocky 3
So
comes
the
out.
whole promotion for WrestleMania 1 was all like Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
Oh.
And they fought. See, I always thought the Andre the Giant match was WrestleMania 1.
Was it 2 or 3?
It's 3.
3. That's the body
1,
slam.
it was like a big brawl thing.
Okay.
2, they did a simulcast where the wrestling was happening all over the country.
Oh, I don't remember that. at all.
Nobody does. 'cause I guess it
Closed
was horrible.
caption, go to the fair and watch it.
3 is when Andre comes back and he's a heel now, and then that's that big one.
Really?
Yeah.
Mr. T. Good for him. Clubber Lane.
I pity the fool that eat my cereal. What's the quote? Do you know the movie?
I pity the fool. Well, I pity the fool is from
I pity the
18.
fool that eat my cereal.
He couldn't have been in that many movies. Was it actually Mr. T that said it?
Nope.
Oh, man.
3, 2, 1. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's eating the cereal in the morning. He goes, he's eating Mr. T cereal.
Oh, okay.
I pity the fool that eat my cereal.
He just passed away like last year or the year before.
Paul Rubens. Dude, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is remarkable.
I saw him multiple times at the Magic Castle. He was a huge magician
Did you ever
fan.
talk to him?
Nah. I was one time I was there, and
you're a member there. You should have been like, hey, I'm a member.
He hung out with one of the owners, like the owner of the Magic Castle. So I never felt like approaching him. Also, the Magic Castle is like a safe space for celebrities where like people don't bother them. I have these 2 kids.
That's hilarious.
I have these 2 sophomore boys, right? They're 15-year-old boys. And instead of doing their work, they're on their phone. And I'm like, hey, man, get your work done. And one of them goes, Mr. Wells, we're watching your podcast. It's really good.
That's pretty awesome.
And I was like, all right, we'll finish the podcast because we need the watch hours.
Yeah, you're like, listen, just don't stop it.
Yeah, let it run.
Let it run through.
And then today he asked me if I would shout him out. And I was like, well, you guys are failing my class, but you are winning in my heart. So
That's hilarious.
we'll cut this.
No, shout them out. What are their names, dude?
I don't know. I haven't learned them yet.
That's hilarious. That's probably true.
I would anonymously shout them out. Yeah.
Right, because they're children.
They're children.
And they're failing in high school.
They're doing terrible.
That's great.
They're great.
Yeah, podcast seems like it's going okay.
Yeah, we're killing it.
Crushing.
Yeah. I am excited for our photo shoot.
Yeah, I got a haircut and I got a beard trim, so...
I almost started working out.
Well, we're going to be in Hawaii in like a month, so we probably should.
You were telling me about getting a base tan.
Yeah, if you need to get out in the sun because you won't get sunburned.
You're saying that this is not enough.
Well, there it is, because that's your like farmer's tan.
That's true.
But the rest of you is...
It's going to be bad.
I've already lost my tan from the summer too because I haven't.
Have you ever been anywhere where you sunburn really bad? Hawaii. I've actually been to Hawaii before, and it was the worst sunburn I ever had.
Because you were what, like
just as white as I am now.
Yeah. So my advice is get some color on you, dude.
Yeah, but I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to sunburn before I go, and then just sunburn.
Yeah,
more.
that's how you get the base.
Okay.
Crisp it up, dude.
Do you recommend oil?
I
Canola.
use Hawaiian Tropic.
Butter?
Body butter, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use Hawaiian Tropic Classic.
Was it 4 SPF?
The 0.
It's a 0. It's just like...
It's literally oil.
Is it a dark... Does it like shade you like a darker tan?
No, I mean, I think that they do have... not the one I have.
It's not
just like
tinting?
the Tradish. It's the Tradish.
Do you feel oily?
Oh, you are oily.
Oh, it's oily.
Yeah, you're like a rum ham, dude.
Like you're lubed up for the pool?
Yeah.
Like you like torpedo through the water?
No, literally, you go in the water and you can see the like
glistening.
like an oil slick.
Like you're like one of those ducks coming out of the water from an oil.
Yeah, I'm
oil spill.
gonna lay out tomorrow for like a while because I want to look crispy for the photo shoot.
I like it. Okay. All right. I'm in.
I like how you I feel like you and I have transitioned.
That I'm slowly.
Like you showed up to the club the other night and you just looked like shit.
Yeah.
And like I
had a good set though.
No, you did a great set. But I for the first time like
haircut.
Like literally, it was hilarious. I got a haircut. I trimmed my beard. I like put on some clothes. I showered, put some beard oil in, and our friend Andrew Boydson was like, "You look happy," and I was like, "Nah, I've never been happy.
Yeah, give me a drink.
I'm just clean."
It's hilarious. That's middle age happiness. Is you're like, is he happy? He's clean.
I don't trust happy people. We talked about peppy people. Let's get into happy.
Peppy people, overly optimistic people, happy. Like, what are you so happy about? You ever see like? I don't want somebody to make eye contact with me and smile.
I don't mind that. I don't mind like somebody that's like pleasant. I'm just saying somebody that's like, it's great, life is amazing.
Yeah, no.
Like you're not experiencing life because it's not amazing.
Tell me about your life.
And again, this is going to be the theme of the podcast. It's just fine.
It's fine.
Like what is wrong with things just being okay?
Yeah, good enough.
They're fine.
Did you have a great meal? It was good.
Yeah.
I would have it again. It was fine.
Oh man, you went to Disneyland. How was it? It was pretty good.
I think
we had a good time.
I think it's a little Gen X in us. I think that part of our life was that nothing was amazing. So we didn't develop this hyperbolic way of describing the world.
Oh, that's interesting.
But like, I remember early 2000s, kids kept, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I think that was like Paris Hilton and Nicki Minaj. No, what was her name?
Glazer.
Yeah, no.
No, she was the
Little Richard's daughter. Nicole
Richie. Wasn't Little Richard's daughter.
Not Little Richard Lewis. Richard.
No. Her dad.
Who was it?
Her dad was like the record
Richie
mogul guy. No.
Yeah, Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah. Lionel
That
Richie.
makes more sense.
Than
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
This is the end of the song. You're looking for someone else. Wrong door.
But have you met Haircut John?
Yeah, Haircut John's a different person.
Haircut John's an animal, dude.
Yeah, Haircut John.
He's got his groove.
Haircut
going,
John
dude.
is going on Hinge.
Mm.
You're ready to
Boy.
get the app to delete.
Boy, Hinge, they send you a message, Thelma likes you, and you're like, fuck. Just the biggest dump truck of a person. You're like, we think you're very compatible with Stacy, and you're like, Stacy has no teeth. It's horrible.
Do you think it's because they're judging you based on like
My
your
looks?
internet history?
No, I think they're going, this is my looks. This is who I deserve. Which is fine. But I aim high. I'm aiming high.
It's like I'm lucky enough to have never downloaded a dating app.
Oh, yeah, no, you miss some fun, bro.
Just swiping right on strippers.
No.
Catfishing.
In New York City, it's like the ratio is like 5 to 1 women to men.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, you can look like me and pull 9s. Multiple 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's so fun. It's so unhealthy for your soul.
And out here
really-
we have farmers only.
Yeah, it's farmers only, or there's just women that look like they're like part of the farm. You know what I mean?
It's heavily dependent on how many cousins you have in the region.
I do enjoy Bakersfield. It's not the most attractive city I've ever been in.
There's pockets.
Yeah, where? Show me.
They're hidden in pockets.
There's no. Yeah, well, if you're over the age of 22, you're done.
Okay.
Because you're either married or not good looking.
I just lucked out. I don't even know where I would start. I remember when I got divorced, I got that app, Silver Single. It was the ad, silversingles.com.
Yeah.
I had a whole joke about that for a long time about like trying to hook up with 55 and over.
Why did you go older?
I didn't. I never got onto it, but that's literally what the
they were like,
algorithm
this is your
sent me was.
demographic?
I was getting the ads. It wasn't. You're good. I wasn't getting the ads for any like Bumble or any of those. I got silversingles.com. It was just like two old people on a tandem bike riding.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, it looked like a lovely life down the road.
Maybe that's what I got to do.
You got to jump in like AARP dating early.
I just don't want to date anybody.
Right. Okay. Well, dating apps seems like maybe the wrong way to go then.
Well, I'm really not using them, but I have them, so I get these updates, just in case, because you never know.
You can do the same thing with Uber. You just get an Uber and you're like, pretty attractive.
That'd be a better game for me. Just take a week and Uber everywhere. That's how I meet a partner.
Just Uber Eats. And you're like, all right, Dolores.
Oh.
Bring in some wiener schnitzel to me. I'll meet you at the door. You already know where I live. You want to come in?
Yeah. We think you're compatible with Sandra. You look at Sandra and she's got like you ever seen a person that has like fat rolls on their face?
Usually it's a dude.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not like a double chin, but it's just like ripples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a face is hidden.
Oh, the thing I love about the dating sites. Well, I don't love this actually because it's actually kind of sad for humanity. But it's like all the women just say, "What are you looking for in a man?" They're like kindness and trustworthiness.
It's just nowhere else in the
They've
world.
just all been fucking destroyed,
Just crushed.
just crushed by idiots like us. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
Because to me, that's a red flag. If somebody's like on their profile, if they're like, the most thing I'm looking for is kindness, and I'm like, oh, you're not
too
ready.
much damage.
You're not ready. You know?
What are you looking for? What's the ideal profile?
What am I looking
you?
for?
Yeah. If you're like, that's if kindness and being nice is, you're like, that's a red flag. What's not a red flag for you?
Oh, they're all red flags. Dude. One, if you like me, red flag.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Done. Right off the bat, done. What's not a red flag? That's pretty interesting. Maybe just somebody that's not overly confident. Somebody that's just fine.
Like somebody goes, I'm a 6 pushing a 7. You might think I'm better looking. You might think I'm worse looking. This is just how I feel about myself.
But it's like somebody goes,
I have a
love
job.
to travel. I love going out to eat. I love having drinks and hanging out with friends. I'm like, that's no good. If somebody was like, traveling is pretty good.
Right.
If I could travel a couple times a year, I like that.
Okay.
I enjoy food.
Any kind.
It's all the verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't. Okay. But you just don't like hyperbole. You don't like a bunch of adjectives added to sentences.
Because if you're going on a date with me, it's not going to be that great.
It's going to be solid.
It's going to be solid. It's going to be just fine.
Right. We're not going to eat the best steak in town,
Well, we'll have
but
a
we're
good
going to eat
steak.
a steak in town.
Well, yeah. We're going to have a decent steak, and it'll be mild to amusing conversation.
Would you be so bold as to invite?
Would you be so bold
to invite the 1940s? Would you be so bold if I could?
If I may.
Would you ever do a first date where you cook the meal? Not right now because you live with our parents.
Okay, but it's a secret.
It's not a secret.
Well,
it's on your. You should put that on your profile. Look, I
live with
need you to
my
know
parents.
a few things. It's going. Okay.
We do a podcast on the couch I'm currently sleeping on.
We cover the stains.
I covered this, because I had the blankets out because I had some got out from the show and I got some Indian food and I made a mess.
That's the curry smell I smell.
It's good though.
It is good. It's nice.
Yeah.
We have an ambiance today.
Wait, so would I ever do a first date?
Would you do a first date where you cook? Are you confident in your cooking abilities?
can
Where you're
cook.
like, I'm going to make a steak.
It's one of the things I'm better at.
What food are you going to go with? What's the meal?
If it was a first date
meal.
Fish sticks.
Okay.
No.
What side? Ketchup to dip?
I would probably do.
Homemade ketchup.
I would do. I'd probably do a pasta.
Okay.
Just something pretty simple, like a lemon butter cream sauce. Nothing too ballsy.
What noodle?
Penne.
A penne. Why a penne?
Well, or a shorter noodle because you're on a date, so you're not slurping it.
Okay. It's practical.
It's easier. It's
It's
practical.
just good advice.
I would do that.
You make your own bread?
I don't think
You
that
Dutch
people
oven
need
bread?
to be I can do it. It was just not as exciting as people made it seem for me. I would do like a protein, maybe chicken, like cook a whole chicken, probably. You know, something
Like a
that.
roasted
A
chicken?
roasted chicken.
So you would cook it. You wouldn't just go buy one from like the grocery store?
If you don't know how to roast a chicken, you literally a waste of humanity.
It's pretty easy.
It's pretty easy, and like it's just better.
Okay.
Like, rotisserie chicken's fine, but like, well, maybe I should do a rotisserie chicken because it's fine.
$5, it's fine. As long as you pre-shred it before they get there, they don't know.
Yeah, and then I would probably do some wine,
You want a red wine? You're going to blend
With the chicken, I would probably do a white
wine with
like a
chicken.
Riesling, maybe.
Really?
Well, yeah, white wine.
I would go red.
Do you know anything about white?
I would go
wine?
red with pasta.
Well, no, I mean with the lemon butter, I think it'd be good with a white.
Oh, that's true. I guess
Also, you
that
typically
makes sense.
with lighter like pork and chicken, you would do a lighter like a white wine.
Okay.
It pairs better with fish as well. Oh, I'm doing fish and I'm cooking salmon.
But I like I don't know. I think I like red wine just in general.
I just like red wine
'cause
better, too.
It's drier. I like a good
But
dry.
there's some dry
they're all-
whites.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a white wine.
Not that I know anything about wine.
Do you make a dessert? Buy a dessert? What are we doing?
I'm the dessert.
Oh, I like that.
Yep.
Do you have toppings
Toppings?
for your dessert?
Oh, yeah. Body butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a little Hawaiian.
I got to tell you,
oil.
that's one thing I wouldn't do.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's like got some sex chocolate, I'm like, no. What are you fucking
right,
crazy?
just get regular chocolate.
No, don't even get near me with food. What is attractive about slathering sticky honey all over your body?
Sugar.
It's so fucking
And then
gross.
you fall asleep thinking you got it off, and then ants are just on you.
You're getting bit by ants all night.
It's just like, this was not worth it.
How did that even become a thing?
Because people have done all the things.
Oh, you think they ran out of things?
I think that people run out of things and they're like, hey, let's try this thing. That's why people end up in like emergency rooms for putting a light bulb up their butt.
Yeah.
Nobody buys a light bulb initially going, we have all of our lights are actually really good in this house.
The thing about the human...
But I got extras.
Yeah. The thing about the adult human rectum is... It really puts up a fight early on.
Yeah.
Like up front. It's one of the only things in the world that goes from like being an impenetrable fortress to the most accepting thing in the world. Right. It would suck up a hose. Like, it doesn't matter, dude.
I
had to do suppository one time. I was like, this ain't going to work. And all of a sudden I was like, just skyrocketed up my body. I was like, well, that's interesting.
Let's see what else will go.
We're going to have to circle back around to this sometime.
This is my fastest Hot Wheel. Let's see what
You know, it's funny. After the last podcast, I told myself, I was like, you got to be a little cleaner. You can't just start.
Jump right into
You can't just jump right into cocaine and strippers. I was a little embarrassed.
I think people found that to be the best part. It was the best part.
Mom and dad are watching it, and they're deaf, and I'm in here, and I can hear them just listen to me tell stories about cocaine and hookers. And they're dying laughing. I was like, I guess it's all right. I mean, if they're fine, then fuck it.
Yeah, if the 78-year-old or 74 or an 80-year-old are like, this is good.
Yeah, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that.
I remember my senior year in high school, 95, 96, going to a debate tournament in San Diego, walking into a bathroom, and our friend Dustin, he's in the bathroom. He comes out of a stall real fast. He goes in, comes right back out. He goes, you got to see this. So I'm like, all right. So I look, and somebody had taken a dump in the toilet, and it must have been the size of a big gulp.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And he goes, I mean, obviously it's absorbed some water, but what does the butthole look like? Put that out.
What does the butthole look? That's the title of this show, this episode. I mean, what does the butthole look like?
The elasticity.
Oh, it's remarkable, dude. Yeah, it's amazing.
And they're right back to normal.
But to me, it's fascinating that, like, we've all heard the stories of the emergency room guy, and then it happens again.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like any other part of being a human. It's always like I smoke cigarettes. So I'm like, I'm not going to get cancer, not me.
Right.
It's the same thing with putting something up your butt. You're like, well, that happened to Steve. It's not going to happen to me.
Steve's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not in control of his body.
Yeah.
Nobody's in control of their butthole, dude. That's the truth. You think you're in control? Think again, brother. Think again, brother. It's brother to brother. Brothers, two brothers hanging and talking about stuff.